Well, good morning. My name is Ala McCoy. I'm Director of Startup Support at the University of Maryland UM Ventures. And I would like to extend a warm welcome to everyone who joined us today for the next installment in Startup Fundamentals Workshop Series. Both live webinar audience and those who are watching a recorded version on our Startup UMD YouTube channel. This workshop series is offered by UM Ventures in collaboration with MTech at the Clark School of Engineering and Dingman Center for Entrepreneurship at the Smith School of Business. To everyone who's attending the live session, please feel free to submit questions using the Q&A function. It should be at the bottom of your screen, could be at the top based on depending on your personal settings. So we are recording this session, so if you would like to remain anonymous, you can submit your question anonymously. I've enabled that function. And today's session will cover how to use or what type of market research resources are available through the University of Maryland libraries. And to talk about that, I've invited Lily Griner, who is a long-standing business librarian at the University of Maryland. Before we begin the session, I also wanted to ask you to please submit either via chat or probably via chat would be the best. If you could please submit the type of customer segments or target markets that you are working with or have questions with, and Lily will be able to use some of those as an example of how to search for things. So she's not searching for something that may not be relevant, but would be something that would be a good example, something that maybe you are working with. Again, thank you so much, Lily, for joining us today. It's a very important resource that not many people know even exists. Those who do don't know how to use it. So thank you so much for joining us today and telling us about this. The mic is all yours. I'm going to turn off my camera and mic, but I am here, so please feel free to submit questions throughout and give us some examples of some of the customer segments you'd like to explore. Thank you.
Thank you, Ala. Good morning, everybody. I'm so glad to be here. So the main goal of this session is to introduce you to the marketing resources that the library subscribe to and which will help you identify and locate your target market, the consumers that are your potential customers. Now, these databases are subscribed to by the library for the use of the students, faculty, and staff of the University of Maryland. If you are not affiliated with the university, you will not be able to access these resources remotely, but you are welcome to come to any of the libraries on campus and get a guest pass, which gives you a guest password to use these databases. So I hope that will help you with your research. So the resources I will introduce you to are important marketing data that detail demographics, such as age, gender, education levels, languages that these customers speak that might be important to your product. What are their spending habits and what factors influence the decisions that they make? So to understand these will help you create marketing materials that will attract them to your businesses and convince them to buy your particular products or service that will also help and determine your potential sales. And in addition to understanding your customer, there are databases that will help you understand the industry. It's very important to understand what's going on within the industry. What is the industry facing in terms of challenges? What are the trends? What are the regulations that control it? Can your product find a niche within this particular industry? Also, who are your competitors and how are you going to differentiate yourself from your competitors? So today I will demonstrate some of the databases that will help you answer these questions. So I'm going to start, this is the library's homepage, lib.umd.edu. And within the library homepage, there are many different options. I will suggest or ask you to go to databases, and the database, or rather it's more of a portal than a database, is called the Virtual Business Information Center, or VBIC for short. Okay, so this portal has been developed specifically to help with business research. Okay, within, you notice there are all these different topics. These are important topics for business research. And today we're going to focus, of course, on marketing and industry. Within each of these links, when I link on one of these, you will see a list of databases that are listed in hierarchical order, with the ones that when we developed it, we thought would be the best to start with are listed first. They're not in alphabetical order. Before I go into these different sources, I'd like to just take a second and show you the table of contents here on the side. There are a couple of things that have been added recently. One is research support. So if you click on this link, this takes you to the services that the library provides. I'm not sure if you need citation tools, how to cite the research if you're doing research, but we also have a statistical consulting department. So if you need help with SAS or SPSS or R, whatever it is that you're doing, we have somebody who can help you with this information. We also have a GIS and spatial data center. So if you are doing anything dealing with that kind of area, then there are people who will help you with that. So this is part of our research services that I thought might be helpful to you. The other one is free online education. This was developed by the Smith School of Business a year or two ago. And these are free online webinars that deal with many different topics. And so there are, let's see, webinars dealing with strategies and management of your business. And these webinars are presented by professors who are very knowledgeable about these different areas. So, you know, if you have issues with accounting or managerial accounting, or you want to create a company website, or any of the social media issues that you're facing. So these are webinars that have been recorded, and you can just go in at your leisure and take a look and listen to some of the ones that you think would be important. Let me see, how do I get out of here? Just bear with me for a second. I'm trying to get back to my library homepage. I think I'll just retype it. So it's lib.umd.edu. And within, I can also just do, instead of going into the databases and looking for VBIC, I can also add VBIC at the end of the library URL, and it will take me to my VBIC portal, which is where I'm going to start. So we looked at the research support area and the free online education webinars that will help you capitalize on your business opportunities. And now we're going to click on marketing, which is the main focus of this session. And as you can tell, within the marketing, these are the databases that are important to marketing research. The very first one that we are so lucky to have is Mintel. Mintel provides different kind of content, but a lot of it also is, well, most of it is full text. And it gives you a lot of insight about your consumer. What are their attitudes? What are their purchasing habits? What are their weaknesses? What is it that will help you target your customer most effectively? And in addition to the actual reports, they have the surveys upon which the report is based on. So you can look at the survey and see how the surveyed people answered the questions. So I am going to click on Mintel. And just to let you know that these reports are super expensive. Sometimes you may find them when you're doing a Google search. You won't be able to access them. You have to go through the library's contact information. But when you see one, you will see a price that's anywhere from $500 to $5,000. They're very, very expensive. This is from a British company, so some of the reports are UK based, but we don't subscribe to any of the other regions that they have reports on. Mostly it's the United States and some UK, depending what they are willing to give us. So before we start, let me just show you here in the welcome screen. When you click on welcome, there is a help and training, and there are a lot of tutorials, articles that will show you and give you information about Mintel. What are the different data that you can look at? There are 24 articles introducing you to their products and the latest updates. What are the insights? What does that mean? How can that help you with your research? Consumer data. So all of these are listed here. And it's very important if you want to get the most out of this database that maybe you should take a look at some of these helpful hints here. When you first get into Mintel, this is what it's going to look like. You are looking at the latest content that they have just put on. So most of it, as you can see, is November, 22nd November, 21st November. And to let you know, these are the different content types. And when you click on it, it shows you the different content types. The reports are the most comprehensive. If I just hover over here, you'll notice it has an overview of the market. It talks about the major issues that the market is facing, who are the consumers, what are their issues, what are the brands and companies involved, and the data that they used in collecting this information. So the reports are the most important to look at, but also the insights, expert insights are really fun to look at. They look at major events and how they're going to affect the customers, maybe some of the new products that are being developed. What is going on from the experts, sort of quick and dirty insight into the different companies, industries, etc. And the news is basically news on business news on new companies, on new partnerships, maybe some new and improved products. So again, this is a quick way to see what is going on, and maybe there's something there that's going to affect whatever it is you are trying to introduce into the market. So there are different content types. In addition, you can search here by category. So these are the different categories that they have reports on. You can also search by region, but mostly we only get North America. They're trend drivers, and you can select whatever trend driver you are interested in that might help your business. And the other one that's really used a lot is the demographics. Are you focusing on millennials? Are you focusing on women or Gen Z? Who is your demographic? Or maybe just look at the different lifestyles, and see what is going on with that. Another way to search is to put in a keyword. I'm looking for something, but it cannot be like a Google search when you put in a bunch of words. It has to be 1 or 2 words at the most, because it doesn't have that kind of searching capability like Google has. So does anybody have maybe a demographic that they'd like to take a look at, or is there a category that anybody's interested in seeing what's going on? For example, if I go to technology and media, I know social media plays a big part in today's marketing environment. Would that be something of interest, social media reports?
I can
Or,
tell you, Lily. So
yeah,
people submitted a few things here, so I can tell you
okay.
we can pick. So we have real estate, the unemployed population, um, luxury handbags, shoes, accessories for brides, regular customers, travel industry.
Okay, why don't we, because here's travel industry, so maybe it's
There you go.
easier
Just
just to,
travel.
Yeah, why don't we just take a look, and it's leisure and entertainment, I guess, would be, or just travel.
Yeah, I would
Okay.
say travel. Yeah.
Okay, so looking at travel, these are the reports that are available right now, the current reports. And so there is, let's see here, the airport experience, their wellness travel, travel loyalty program, sustainability in travel. So these are the different reports. Is there a specific one that the people would like? And oh, and I can also select to see which ones. There are 420 reports. There are expert insights, like what's the new and wonderful, what's going on, and also the news dealing with travel. So there are different kinds of report content, but I think I'd like to show the reports because those are the most comprehensive, if that's okay. And I don't know if the person, if there's a specific one you want to look at, is it wellness or consumer? Well, this is for UK, so that's not gonna, this was
So they
2022.
so they clarified student travel. I'm not sure if that's helpful.
Mm. Let's see, vacation plan priorities, Hispanic vacation, hotels. I don't see anything, but let's see if the demographics will limit it. So maybe for, let's see, where would that be? Gen Z. I don't know if it's going to limit it a little too much. I guess there, it didn't match. So there's nothing for the Gen Z and travel. I'm sorry, unfortunately. So I'm just going to go maybe, what would be sustainability? Would students look for, how about vacation plans and priorities? Would that be?
That sounds good.
Okay, so I'm good. This is the report. It was, well, it's about almost a year old, but let's take a look just to give you an idea what the reports are like. Okay, so this is what it looks like when you first get into it. And it gives you a summary of the report, and you can download this information. And the very important source, interactive data book, this is where the actual surveys upon which this report is based are. So you, and we can look at this in just a few minutes, but right now, let's just look at the report itself. So there's an overview, executive summary. I'm just going to click on the market. So this is a report on the market size and the forecast. So just very briefly, this is what it's telling you, what is going on within this particular area. You know, this is total US sales, etc. So some data going back, some historical data, and then some analysis of what's going on with tourism. Will it recover or is it recovering? So I'm just going to go back to, let's see, the content. Oops, that's not what I wanted. Sorry. I'm going to go back to the report summary. So that's sort of one of the sections of the market. You could look at the market segments, but on the, and that market factors might be, of course, all of these sections are important to look at, and we don't have time to look at all of them, but I'm just going to go to the consumer. So these are the different sections that deal with attitudes toward vacation, normalcy, attitudes toward vacation, budgeting. And maybe that might be important for any demographic. So let's just take a look at that section. Oh, so here they looked at internet users, 18 plus, and what are they looking for to travel and how are they spending their money? So this was the question, how much do you agree or disagree with the following statement? And so these were the statements, and this is how they answered. Okay. And then it continues, travelers, how many people they asked, and they talk about the different ethnic groups, Hispanics, Asians, and so on. Okay, so you get the idea of what this is like, but a lot of detailed information that you otherwise would not be able to find very quickly. And then the brand, consumer trends in travel. What are the trends within this particular area? Now, I want to also at this point just take you to the data book. This is where the actual survey is. And I think in a way, it might also help you if you want to do a survey of your own. It might give you ideas what kind of questions you may want to ask in your surveys. So I don't want to take the 2 minutes to look at this. I'm just going to close this. So this is the survey. And there's another way to look at it. This color is way too much for me. So I'm just going to click here. And this is much easier, I think, to look at. It's a table, explore demographics. And this is what it looks like. So you can choose the question. For example, if vacation type planned or security and safety, was that an important factor? So or plans for 2022, this is the first question that's here. So why don't we just go with that? And then the other, so I'm just going to leave it at that. And then the other thing that it has right now, the demographics. At this point, it's only gender and age that has been selected. But if you click here, there are many different kinds of demographics you can select. You can select, I guess, not children, but age and race, if you want to look at that, or age and income. But we already have the age component. There's all these different mobile device ownership, whatever. So you can select that as well to be part of this survey results. But at this point, when we're looking, and which of the following vacations do you plan on taking? And so there's male, female. The sample was 2,000 people, different age ranges. And here, if you're looking at young students, maybe 18 to 24-year-old, the sample was this many. So this vacation within the US, 39%, vacation primarily to visit friends. So it gives you vacation to a new destination. So it gives you all this information right here at, very quickly. You can get an idea of what the different age groups are looking for in a vacation. And if safety and security is important, then you can, of course, click on that. And then you get the results for this particular one with the age groups. Okay. Are there any questions? And you can download this. This can be downloaded. Okay. You got it. I'm going to get out of here because time is moving on and I don't want to not being able to get to the other sources. So basically, this will give you a lot of information on your consumer. What are the new products? What drives the people to buy what they buy? How do they feel about certain things? Another thing that's important is the economy. How's the economy going to affect? And I'm just going to type in just a couple of letters. Come on, economy. And you will see here is consumers and the economic outlook for the United States. And again, you'll get the report that's very similar to what we saw earlier. And it talks about the consumer in terms of their outlook of the economy. And so changes consumers would make due to inflation. So this is something might be interesting to look at. Okay. So there are many different ways to search it, but the reports are very comprehensive and they analyze the survey. So you get an analysis of what is going on within that particular area. And again, there are different types of reports. If you want to just take a look at news, what's new and different, what companies are doing, you go to news. Expert insights, they look at changes within a product, what they see as new and exciting. And the reports go into detail with the consumer, the market, the survey that was done. Any questions on that? If not, no questions? I'm gonna go on to, I'm sorry, vacation priorities. Okay. I'm just gonna go back to lib.umd.edu/VBIC to the VBIC. and go to marketing. And the next database that works in tandem with Mintel is something called Simply Analytics. The difference is that Simply Analytics is the data. It has the actual data. It doesn't analyze the data. You have to analyze it, but it gets very, very detailed and gives you over 70,000 variables that you can look at. It's a little more complicated, I think, to use, but there's a guide that you can download that will give you a lot of detail. I'm going to sign in as a guest. If you want to create an account, which you probably do if you want to download this information that you find, then you have to create an account. If you're a guest, you cannot download the information. So I'm going in as a guest, and within a couple of seconds, this is what it looks like. In the beginning, it gives you a 30-second introduction to this source. I'm not going to look at it. You can look at it on your own because I'm sort of taking you through it. So you don't have to do this little video or look at the video. So the first thing is location. What locations would you be interested in? I'm just going to assume local, so say Baltimore. And the other one, maybe comparison, Washington, DC. Okay, so these are the two locations that I want to take a look at. And I am going to the next thing. And here they already provide you with variables and you can change them later. But right now, this is what is here to auto-generate the map. So I'm interested, somebody was maybe per capita income, maybe the total population. There is this housing. I'm not sure the person who was interested in real estate possibly would want to look at some of these issues, but I am not sure which one, so I'm just going to leave it, but just be aware that this is also a possibility. And then I click on create project. Okay, so this is right now in the map. Okay, this is the map. And it's telling me the total population of Baltimore is this within these different blocks. And these are census tracts, but I can change it to zip code. So you get the population by zip code. And I can also change this because these are the variables I selected previously. I want to see the per capita income. So this is a map of Baltimore by zip code of per capita income. Okay, and you see these areas not very high, and these areas with the dark red, the income is much higher. And I can change the place. Right now I'm in Baltimore. I can change it to Washington, DC. Okay. If I look at rankings, it lists the areas, the variables that I selected by zip code. Okay, so you can see the total population within the zip code and what is the per capita income within that particular zip code. So you get an idea if you can sell your product to that zip code or do you want to go somewhere else. Okay. In addition, there's a quick report that gives you a lot of detail on the demographics of the Baltimore, Washington, and comparison to the US. So it has the age groups, it has the race and ethnicity for the cities, and also the income. So it's sort of a map in a way of the population within the two cities in comparison to the United States. There's also the comparison report that gives you these numbers. Okay. So the other thing that's kind of nice is that you can also add more locations if you want to, and you can look for different data and you can look at different businesses. So to look at the data right now, I can look at it because it's highlighted, but to look at the businesses, I have to be in the map because otherwise I cannot type anything within this search box. You have to be in the map. So right now in data, which is highlighted, and I'm going to scroll down. These are the different, I guess, variables data that you can look at. I'm going to go to consumer behavior. And within consumer behavior, you have all these different, again, variables. And here, how much people spend on these different products for consumer behavior. I'm going to look at hair care. Okay, and within hair care, it shows me how much people spend on the different personal care products. I'm going to go to the low. So you can look at number of people or you can look at percentage. So I'm going to look at percent of people who spend between $50 and $99 in the last 3 months on beauty aids. Okay, so this is what I just did. And it's showing me, so this is a map that shows me that within this areas, in this dark red, between 13.5 to 100% people spend between $50 and $99 for products dealing with health and beauty. Okay. So the other thing that I want to do at this point, because I'm in the map, I want to look at barbershops as a business. Okay, so I'm going to look at barbershops. And was I in the map? Yeah. Okay, so why is it not giving me? I thought I typed it in. What's going on? Oh, wait a second, maybe. Okay, so you see the little circles. So these are where the barber shops are located within this map, and this is for Washington, D.C. Okay, so right now what I can do, if I want to see what exactly they are, what their names, I can click on business, and within a couple of seconds, I get a list of 178 barbershops in Baltimore area. Okay. Now, the other thing that I can do is I can change, I need to change some of these rankings. So I'm going to go, because this is from the previous searches that I did. So I'm going to click on new view, and there are all these different things that you can look at. I'm going to click on create a new ranking table that also has the health and beauty aids. Let me just click on, and I click on done. And here, so I'm looking at, this is the number, the percent of people who have within the zip code, how they spend, is it by zip code? Yes. Spend how much they spend on beauty products and things like that. And hair care as well. So I'm going to go back to the business, and I'm going to go to, what did I want to do? Sorry, I just lost my, okay, so I'm going to look at the comparison table. No, I wanted to look at the map. Okay, so within the map, and looking at, I think we looked at this map before. There are the barbershops. This is how much they spend between $50 and $99. I may want to look at per capita income. So this is showing me that the per capita income, these are the different colors, and they have barbershops. And so if I want a product that is a little more expensive, because I looked at the map where they spend between $50 and $99, but now I'm looking at maybe these areas. So maybe I can go to those barbershops and see if I can get them to buy into my product, which may be more expensive because they have a bigger income per capita. So it's a way to see, where the businesses are, what is the per capita income for that particular population, and see how you can configure your product or your customers, how you can handle it. So it gives you an idea a good idea of all that important information, or the household income, and you can take a look at that. So quick and dirty. Are there any questions on that? So basically what it gives you is a way to look at the data, the different data, and also mapping it, and also looking at the different type of businesses and looking at them by zip code and ranking the businesses within a certain zip code that includes the per capita income or household income, or any of the other variables that you want to select. It could be age, it could be ethnic group, whatever you think your product is going to be important, whoever you think your product will be important to. And as you can see within the consumer behavior, there are lots and lots and lots of variables, and it will give you ideas how much consumers spend on these different products or services. Okay. And again, here there is a support link, and you can replay the very short tutorials, only 30 seconds, or you can download, if you create an account, you can download this training guide, which is about, I don't know, 45 minutes to go through, and you can get a really good take on how to do research in this really, really interesting database, important, very detailed information. Any questions on that? Okay, we're sort of running, I think, out of time a little bit. Going back to my source. So now we looked at the information about the consumer. Who's the consumer? What are they buying? How much do they spend? What are they likes? Their dislikes. So the next thing that's really important to look at is the industry. What are the challenges, the regulations? What is going on within the industry? And IBIS World is listed in marketing. It is also listed under industry. It's a very important database for industry analysis, but also contains some marketing information. So IBIS World covers over 700 different industries. It includes Canada, the United States, and China. You can search it by keyword here, or you can look at, if you know the NAIC group, the industry group, or if you're looking at specialized industries, you want to see what the risk there's a risk report. Oh, here, the risk rating for some of the industries. So there are different ways to search it. The company research is not that great. It's mostly for industries. And here you can, US, Canada, China, and global. So I'm going back to my barbershop. Somebody had, what was it? Oh, I remember pocketbooks, was it? I'm not sure if there's a pocketbook industry. We could try that. Is it pocketbooks or purses? Handbags. Okay. So maybe global handbag and purse manufacturing, but it's global. I don't know if that's, and there's leather tanning, which might be a related industry if you're looking at leather bags. And it would be important to look at the related industries as well. So if that person is interested in global handbags, we could look at that. Or I can just go look at my barbershops. Any, anything there? Anybody want to say?
So we have
Or
so
another industry.
Another industry. So we have let's see, fitness, gyms.
Okay,
Tech
gym.
industry.
Okay, there's gym.
Yep.
There's gym, health and fitness in the United States, and there's gym and fitness franchises. So it might be another place to take a look at.
Sounds good.
Okay, so this is the report on gym, health, and fitness clubs in the United States. So the very first thing is the About section. This is the table of contents. This is how the industry is defined. And in the about section, these are the different components for the major players. What are similar industries? What is the supply chain? And right now, when I'm looking at it, this is the about section. And so you can click on any of these clickable highlighted items. So consumer spending, number of adults, time spent on leisure and sports. And here are sort of related consumers in the United States and related industries, the major players and the main activities and similar industries. Let's see what else is here. And additional resources. Those are really important to look at as well. These are associations, like this is the National Association for Health and Fitness. They put out lots of research reports. Most associations do on for their members. You know, what are the important trends within this particular area? So it's important to look at the association reports as well. This is in another section within this report, Industry at a Glance. It's really cool. I don't know how many of you are familiar with a SWOT analysis, which is an analysis that looks at the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats for the industry. And so it sort of lays it out right here. And the weaknesses are that there's low barriers to entry and there's high competition. Anybody can sort of open up, I guess, a gym, not a lot of money involved. And there are threats. These are the threats. But there's also positive information here. So this is the industry at a glance. What is the industry outlook? So this looks overview of what the industry is looking at, what are the demographics, and it forecasts into several years ahead outlook for these years. So it goes on. Sorry, I don't want to performance data outlook going into the future, the industry life cycle, etc. What is the geographic breakdown? I'm not sure I've seen this before, but key insights for this particular area, which might be important. There's Maryland, DC, and all these different states, and how many establishments, and the growth rate, and the wages, which are important as well when you're hiring people. What are the competitive landscape? So who's the competition, the cost structure, etc., the wages, and what effect they have on the industry. Key statistics, operating conditions. The other thing that's sort of new to this source is kind of cool. If you're looking for interviewing people in the industry, or you're looking for a job in an industry, maybe not in this industry, but other industries, they have this call preparation questions, which is really cool because these are specific questions that they suggest that you may ask, because when you're doing an interview, and you really have to have some idea what you're talking about. So after you review the industry information, and then you can look at some of the questions that might be of interest to you as you're trying to expand or start a business in this particular area. Okay. So this database is fairly straightforward, and you can download. Yeah, this is the download button, any of these reports. Are there any questions, comments in this?
So here's here are two questions related, and I think we can answer them real quick. So, is the information on different websites accessible outside UMD environment or for outsiders?
Okay, so yeah, the databases are available only to staff, faculty, and students of University of Maryland College Park. It's not even available to faculty outside of College Park. It's only for those people who are College Park faculty, staff, students. But that's for remote access. If you want to come to campus, you can go to any of the libraries on campus and get a guest password, and you can use it for 7 days, but you have to be here in person.
Thank you. Thank you. That's an important. I know that we have a few members of our audience who are not University of Maryland related, but this is important information on how they can access it. Thank you.
Okay, so I'm going back to the Vivek and stage. I'm going to go to, let's see, the marketing. I wanted to show a couple of more databases. Let's see if we have time. Passport is a really important source. If you're doing international research, looking at over 205 countries, there's lots and lots of detailed information on the economies, on the consumer. I'm going to just focus maybe on the United States. Let's see if it's going to let me in. Okay, I'm good here. So I accept their restrictions. And within a couple of seconds, this is what it looks like. So I am focusing today on consumers. And here is just what's there right now. You can look at the top 3 trends in households, and this is global. There are strategic insights dealing with the inflation surge, how it's affecting people's spending, consumer landscape, megatrends, etc. Okay, so you can take a look at that. But also, I'm going to go here to lifestyles under consumers and the lifestyles. And there are a couple of things that are really cool. One is the survey. The survey is international and it looks at consumer habits, preferences, and attitudes. So I'm going to just quickly click on go. And then we're going to go up to the analysis. So when you click on go, within a couple of seconds, it's a little slow. And you can download this results. And for some reason, it always starts with this, but you can change the dietary preferences. And within a couple of seconds, we can change the topic. And you can change the country. This is, again, international, looks at over 200 countries. And so this is I'm going to just show you the topics that you can look at. So these are the different topics. So spending and saving. So if you're looking at shopping, these are the habits, retail channel preferences, purchasing factors, if you're looking at that. So influential loyalty rewards or participation in loyalty rewards. If this is something that's interesting, then I can click on that and click on apply. And within a couple of seconds, you get this survey with results from these different countries, including the United States. Gee, it's a little slow. So here are, in a second, you'll be able to click on, I think, a specific selection here. And so here are travel perks, exclusive discounts, automatic product returns, and these are by country. And you can click on the one that you are interested in, and then it will give you the results. So early access, return protection, VIP and exclusive. So if this is something when you're traveling and you have VIP and exclusive entertainment access, so it gives you the information for these different countries. So if you look at, for example, I don't know, say Australia, so 21% answered that this would be important to them. In 2022, 16%, so it went down from 2017, VIP and exclusive entertainment access. So you sort of get the idea that, and you can play with this. I'm sorry, sort of running out of time. I don't want to spend any more time with this, but this is under consumer and the lifestyles and the surveys were here. I just want to go here to explore the analysis just to show you. Let's see, where's the country report? and the category is lifestyles, and you can choose the geography. The geography is by area. So they start with Asia, and then they go to Latin America, and then USA is here. It's not alphabetical. And then within a couple of seconds, you will get an analysis on consumer lifestyles in the United States, consumer types in the United States, megatrends in the United States. And when you click on it, you get this really, let me just do this as a full screen PDF so you can see. It has a very detailed article on consumer lifestyles in the United States. So it sort of works well with Mintel, and it looks at sort of general consumer lifestyles where Mintel maybe looks at specific areas. And this is the report. It is fairly lengthy. And here it gives you the lifestyles, the behavior, the types, the mega trends, and all this other stuff. Again, sorry, I'm not going to go more detail, but consumers and then lifestyles are sort of the important sections that you may want to take a look at. And in the last couple of minutes, I just want to take you, let's see, where is it? It's under Find Articles and News. There's a database called Factiva, and I'm hoping I can get in. And the reason I'm showing that is because Factiva is a Dow Jones database. Dow Jones is the publisher of the Wall Street Journal. And this is one of the few places where you can get very quickly the very current today's Wall Street Journal. And you can look at it by different sections. So if anybody's interested in the Heard on the Street column or business and finance or any of these industry sections, you can do that, or just look at the front page and you can go back 2 weeks here. In addition, you get the New York Times, the Washington Post. You get the headlines, you know, the different topics that you can look at. But within this newspaper, newsstand, you can click on this little dot, the next dot, and it takes you to other papers, which is kind of cool. And you get the full, not all the papers available, but it gives you some papers that otherwise you may not be able to look at. So this is sort of a cool extra sort of thing that we have, that I'm very happy that we have access to that. So I guess in summary, this is the library homepage, and you can, to get into Vivek, you can just say / here VIC, or go to the library homepage, click on databases, and type the database VBIC, and it will bring it up. And this is the portal for the business information. My contact information is right here. This is my colleague. You can email me. I'm on email all the time if you have any questions or you want to go over something. There are links to all these very important business topics within entrepreneurship, which we didn't really look at, is just startup plan of action. So it lists maybe some of the key things that might be important when you're starting a business, and it talks about the databases that would be important to take a look at. We have to take off Merchant Intellect. We don't subscribe to that anymore. We sort of didn't have the money to buy it. But the ones that we do have, specific marketing sources that we looked at, Mintel and let's see, Simply Analytics are companion databases where Mintel looks at the analysis of the surveys that they provide. Simply Analytics gives you over 70,000, as you see here, variables and very specific data that you then have to analyze yourself and see how it can help your business. How much do people spend on, say, expensive handbags, and you can find handbags in Simply Analytics, I'm sure, and then see how much people spend, and then see where they live in terms of the city or the zip code or county or whatever it is that's important. IBIS World looks at industry information. It covers over 700 different industries, gives you challenges the industry is facing, regulations, competitors, and risk analysis of some of the industries. So that's an important source. And Passport is international. If you're doing business in other countries, to take a look at what is, going on, what are the consumers buying, what are the important lifestyles of the consumers in those countries. I forget, in Passport, there's one other thing that I wanted to show you that I forgot. You can just type in keywords, and I just want to, I don't know if you're aware of this, there's a PES stands for Political, Economic, Social, and Technical Analysis of Countries. So this is an analysis of the United States looking at those different issues. And so when you're looking at this, so it looks at the politics and how they're going to influence, if you're doing business in another country, how is the politics going to affect that particular area? How is the environment? And so this is the section, political, economic, social, and technological issues and how they're going to affect doing business in that particular area. So again, thank you for coming. You know how to contact me, I think. Again, I'm just going to go back to this and my contact information, or you can always ask Ala, and I'll be happy to meet with you in person or via Zoom or whatever works for you. Again, thank you for having me.
Thank you so much, Lily. This has been very useful, and I know you just scratched the top of the iceberg here. I think there's a lot more here. So if any of you log on to Vibic and start using it and discover that you need help, please do reach out to Lily. She's extremely responsive and very, very knowledgeable. She's been stewarding these resources for the University of Maryland for many years. So thank you so much for doing these workshops for us. It's extremely important.
Thank you for having me. Okay.
Thank you. Again, if anybody has any questions or you would like to reach out to Lily, you can reach out to her directly or shoot me an email and I'll put you in touch. Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.